meetings are all very well, Liz. Of course they serve a valuable purpose, and distributing leaflets...
Well, what else can we do? I mean, the meetings of the Doctors' Left Book Club group are having some effect.
Precisely, we're spreading the word. But don't imagine that's going to stop the Hitler-Chamberlain alliance. Keep your voice down. That one will put it all around the hospital that we're a couple of flaming reds.
An alliance? Isn't that putting it a bit strongly?
It's what the Daily Workers called it from the beginning.
Perhaps you were one.
What?
A flaming red. Oh, how exciting a Bolshevik.
Don't be absurd.
Well, if you read the Daily Worker.
Does that shock you? Yes, I suppose it would with your background.
Oh, Sarah, really? Do you have to throw that in my face?
Merely an observation. Look, I read the Daily Worker to get a different perspective. One you certainly won't find in the Times or the Herald or the News Chronicle.
It may be different, but is it right?
I don't know. But if Chamberlain's really planning to sell out the Czechs... Oh, damn it, that's why we're having the meetings. We can preach to the converted till the cows come home, but that's not going to stop Chamberlain or stop a German invasion of Czechoslovakia. We've got to stand up and be counted.
How?
What are you doing tomorrow?
I was going home.
Jolly weekend at the Manor House, tennis and cocktails.
Sarah, you're doing it again.
Sorry. I just want to get rid of a chip on the shoulder. Perhaps it's a clinical condition. Surgery?
Why not become a consultant on 3,000 a year?
The classic British way of coping with rebels. Buy them off. I don't deny it'd be rather nice. Harley Street and a chauffeur. Look, couldn't you delay going home till Sunday?
I suppose so.
Good. Then you can give me a lift to London in your car. And I'll read you bits out of the Daily Worker. Now, let's go and deal with the varicose veins and hernias.
Is this how you do it?
Hmm?
Pink gin.
Oh, my dear Angela, I'm so sorry. What an appalling host I am. You fight your way through a demonstration to get here, and I don't even offer you a drink.
That was hours ago. I'm quite capable of pouring a couple of drinks. Is it all quiet out there now?
Well, as far as I can hear, one or two stragglers shouting, "Stand by the Czechs." And I applaud the sentiment. I do not applaud mob violence.
As far as I could see, the police horses were the target for most of the violence.
On every horse is a man. He crashes to the pavement and gets kicked and punched by the crowd. That's not very pleasant.
There's a lot of real anger over government policy. It was bound to come out sooner or later.
Yes, well, I'm angry too, Angela, but there's a danger of oversimplification. What happened out there today was part of a left-inspired plot to foster the so-called Popular Front.
And thus paved the way to Red Revolution.
Yes, well, you laugh if you like. But however genuine the anti-Chamberlain sentiments of the crowd are, the majority were duped.
By Soviet puppet masters?
Yes, if you like. Who the devil's that? What a day. Oh, by the way, I booked a table at Quag's for 9, but at this rate...
Arthur, don't worry. I had a late lunch.
Oh.
Aren't you going to answer it?
No, yes, excuse me. Liz, what on earth?
Sorry, Daddy. Awful sight, I know, but it's not as bad as it looks.
Well, come along in. What have you done to yourself?
Liz!
Did you have an accident? Were you attacked?
Dragged through a hedge
But
backwards?
don't worry about me. I'm not hurt. Well, perhaps just a bit bruised. I was in the demonstration this afternoon.
Oh, my poor girl. Why didn't you wait till it was over?
Daddy, I don't think you've quite understood. I mean, I was part of it.
You were what?
I was on the march. We were moving up Whitehall to Downing Street when the police threw a cordon across our route. The crowd started to push.
You were part of that mob.
Daddy, please.
Well, don't expect sympathy.
If you let me finish, you might be inclined to be sympathetic. Although that's not what I came here for. I came to have a hot bath and to clean up.
But what happened? How did you get into this state?
I was trying to explain. Everything was calm and orderly until the police tried to head us off. The crowd started to break through the cordon, and the police went berserk, riding their horses into us and thrashing about with batons and just hauling people out at random.
Yes, of course, and they were entirely unprovoked.
Yes.
You just said that the crowd was trying to break through a police cordon.
Well, we had the right to get through. Isn't that part of our democratic tradition, Father? The right to demonstrate, the right of free speech. Aren't these just the rights that you yourself say are being eroded by the dictators in Europe?
Liz, I don't want a political debate.
It's a political situation. Angela, do you think you'll get me a drink? Brandy, if there is any.
Yes, of course.
I'm sorry, Liz. Look, can we please have the facts?
The facts are that the demonstration was peaceful and orderly until the police started beating people up. If you don't believe me, have a look at this.
Liz?
Yes. But there's worse to come.
What?
Angela, I think you'd better make that 2 large brandies. I was one of the people that the police hauled out. "You'll do, darling," said a nice, rosy-cheeked British bobby and manhandled me towards the Black Maria.
They took you to the station.
Yes.
And you, were charged?
I appear before the magistrate on Monday.
You realize what this means?
Surely only a small fine.
Oh, yeah, this will be a fine, all right. There'll also be a lot of publicity. It's not going to help my career. Or Lizzie's, for that matter.
MP's doctor-daughter in anti-government demonstration, that sort of thing.
Precisely. Well, you're a journalist.
Yes.
I'm an embarrassment to you.
Liz, my darling, you're my daughter. I love you. But
But I have become a liability.
how did you get involved?
Somebody at the hospital suggested it, Dr. Martin. We've been going to the Doctor's Left Book Club meetings. You know, the Gallants thing.
Yes, I know.
Oh, Father! We've only taken to the streets. Ideas you yourself have often expressed in the House.
What political persuasion is he, this Dr. Martin?
Dr. Martin is a she. As for her political views, you will have a chance to ask her yourself. I've invited her down to Lockfield for a few days. Now, do you think I could have a bath?
If it goes on like this, Peter and Laura will be married in an empty church.
Oh, can't be as bad as that.
7 telephone calls. 7 between 9 and 11:30 this morning, all making excuses.
What sort of excuses?
Oh, the Delameres had quite overlooked the fact that their son... Do you remember that rather spoilt child with spots? Well, apparently he's still on holiday and they promised to take him on a fishing treat, whatever that is.
The Hereford Delameres?
No, Suffolk.
Oh, that's all right then. I never cared for the Suffolk people. He's Deputy Lord Lieutenant and he sweats.
Sorry?
Oh, I suppose they'll have to get back the wedding presents. What a shame. And for you, Rosie, after you worked so hard. No, I'm wrong. You only give back the presents when it's you who's cancelled the wedding. Isn't that splendid? They'll be able to keep them all.
All this fuss just because Liz gets her name in the papers.
Do you know the Delameres sent quite a hideous vase? I dropped it quite soon after the telephone call. It was an accident. But I'm sure Mr. Freud would find it a very significant accident.
No, dear, he wouldn't. Not now.
Uh-huh.
He's very, very ill.
Such idiots. Liz was only taking part in a silly demonstration.
She was arrested, Vicky. That was the silly part of it. She'll be up before the beak. Can you wonder that people don't want to come to the wedding when they think we've got a Bolshevik in the family? Look what happened to the Tsar and those lovely children. People have very long memories, you know.
Granny, it isn't as if she's going to turn up at the church with a machine gun.
Well, I wouldn't object to that if the Suffolk people were there.
She was only taking part in a peaceful demonstration.
Well, she can't have been behaving very peacefully, or the police wouldn't have arrested her.
Poor Arthur.
Exactly. Think of the embarrassment. Look at the papers. He might even have to resign his office.
Oh, it'll blow over. Oh, hell!
Victoria!
Why is everything such a mess? Why hasn't Claus telephoned? I'm fed up with stupid men.
Oh, no, Klaus isn't stupid.
All men are stupid at a certain level. Just look at the trouble in the world at the moment. Who's caused it? You, Granny? Rosie? Me? No, men. Stupid men.
Well, I don't think it's quite as uncomplicated as that, dear.
Klaus promised to telephone. He said he'd either be down or he'd telephone. But he hasn't. You see, totally unreliable men. Do you think he's been called up? I mean, the papers. Well, they're full of such terrifying things. And what about this WVS thing you've got into?
Well, it's a scheme of Lady Redding's to release manpower so that women can do certain jobs.
What sort of jobs?
Oh, deal with evacuees, for example. Distribute gas.
You were going to say gas masks. They're going to distribute gas masks.
It's only a precaution, Vicky.
But it must mean there's a serious threat. And anyway, how do you do it?
Do what, Vicky?
How do you put a gas mask on a baby?
Darling. Darling, you mustn't think like
How can I stop thinking about it? I think about it all the time. About Jack and Phyllis's baby, and if Claus and I ever have a baby, and all the millions of babies. Doesn't it frighten you? There's a man in this village. Bainbridge, I think his name is. He was gassed in the last war. He can hardly breathe. He hasn't been out of his cottage for years. He just lies there with his sister reading to him, and he's such a very nice old man.
Stop it, Vicky. Stop it. At once. Please.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Granny. I don't know why I suddenly... Do call me if Claus telephones.
Of course, darling.
Oh, hello, Rosie.
Arthur.
Oh. Hello, Mother. Yeah, I gather you've read all about it.
Poor Arthur. Many repercussions.
Oh, one or two frosty telephone calls. Oh, and one from the Chief Whip, who very carefully assured me that at this stage he was merely seeking for information, and that he'd telephone me again on Monday when the magistrate has pronounced.
How's Liz?
Bruised and unrepentant.
Naughty girl. Even so, one can't help admiring her, but that doesn't excuse her behaviour.
I don't deny her courage, Mother, but don't you go round saying that you admire her. Well, any repercussions down here?
Yes, a few cancellations for Peter and Laura's wedding.
Oh, Lord. Nobody we like, I hope.
The Suffolk Delameres.
Oh, isn't he the one who drinks?
The Hereford Delamere drinks. This one sweats.
Oh.
Oh, there has been one more repercussion down here.
How was that?
George Cranford turned up.
You know Arthur, Lady Mary's husband.
Yes, I know. He's a member of the Constituency Association Committee. Well, is he gone again?
No, I offered him a drink, but he said he'd smoke a cigar in the garden while he waited for him.
He was wearing a very tight smile.
Yes, I can imagine. Well, I'd better go. Oh, hello, George.
Arthur.
Oh, come along into the study. You can talk in there. Sorry to have kept you waiting.
Not a bit. I'm having a chat with your man Gates. And your Rosie's a bit of good.
Rosie, come round to dinner on Monday. I could do with some intelligent conversation.
I hope that doesn't mean he thinks I'm going gaga.
Oh, I gather you refused to drink when you arrived.
It was some time ago.
No, but now. Sherry, whiskey and soda?
A whiskey with a dash of Malvern water, please.
Good, good. I'm very sorry to have kept you hanging around, even though you had your cigar and Rosie's and Gates. I know we said 5:30 when we telephoned this morning, but a few things blew up in London just before I left.
Hardly surprising.
What?
The things blew up. It's very distressing, Arthur.
Oh, what is?
This business with Elizabeth.
Oh, Liz. Caused a few ripples, has it?
Ripples, a damn great tidal wave. The telephone hasn't stopped all morning. I'm sorry, Arthur, but the majority of people in this constituency are... Well, I don't want to sound Colonel Blimpish, but they're true blue Tories and straightforward.
Well, that doesn't necessarily follow.
What doesn't?
The true blue means straightforward. Oh, never mind.
You know what I mean. Damn it, man, some of that mob, do you know what they were demonstrating for? Arms for Spain. Arms for that communist anarchist red rabble. The chap I know has got a long-haired son out there who went there straight to Eton. He was on the telephone this morning.
From Spain?
No, not the son, the chap I know. He lives over at Knighton, Colonel Foster.
Well, everybody knows Claude Foster. I've shot with him 100 times.
Well, there you are, then. Claude was positively spluttering and spitting down the telephone about what's happening to our young.
Well, Foster is apt to splutter.
I don't think you're taking this too seriously, you know.
What?
You do want to hang on to your seat, don't you, Arthur?
Well, of course, but I don't think there's likely to be an election before 1940.
Only 2 more years. I can tell you, there was an emergency meeting of the association this morning, and several people are gunning for you. Now, I was asked to talk to you and report back next Monday. Now, the key point is this. Did you know
What?
that your daughter was going on that demonstration?
No, I didn't. And if I had known, I'd have done my best to talk her out of it.
Well, that might help to calm them down a bit. Surely you understand that our supporters aren't going to take kindly to being represented by a chap who's got a daughter who's a red and gets her name in the papers.
What? That's nonsense. Liz isn't a communist.
What is she then?
Well, she's a liberal, a radical, even a socialist, maybe. You know, reads the New Statesman.
That sounds like a red to me.
You don't have children, George.
Children? No. Mary doesn't seem to care for them.
Yeah, well, after a certain age, there's not much you can do about children. They have this annoying tendency of growing up and having their own ideas. Now, I thought Liz behaved foolishly, and I told her so. But if she decided to join the International Brigade and go to Spain and start blowing up bridges, there's damn all I could do about it.
Well, I'll tell the committee you didn't know and that you don't approve. You may well have to make some sort of public statement. Whether you make it or not is entirely up to you. Let's hope it all just blows over.
Well, things usually do, if one is patient. By the way, George, are there any mutterings down here about the police, well, how shall I put it, behaving with less than their usual restraint?
Preposterous nonsense.
Ah.
Who's been putting that about?
Well, there are one or two oblique references to it in the Herald.
The Herald? You read the Herald?
Yes, George, and the Chronicle. I read all the newspapers. It's what's called keeping abreast of things. Don't worry, George. I don't read the Daily Worker.
Well, good night, Arthur. And keep an eye on that daughter of yours. For all our sakes.
Would you like a drink? I have a feeling that you're going to need one.
Oh, why?
Well, Claus arrived back a few minutes ago. He's upstairs with Vicky, who's murmuring about the foolishness of men and clucking over him like an old mother hen. I must say, he doesn't look too good.
Oh, what's the matter with him?
Apparently, he went to a Moseley meeting last night and got caught up in a brawl.
Oh, what next?
Shall I make it a very large drink? I know you're worried, Arthur. I know it's very hard for a man to bring up two girls on his own, especially when one is hell-bent on going to Holloway, but do you think we could possibly change the subject? I've got a few worries of my own.
Oh, I am sorry, Rosie. Yes, I suppose I have been using you as a whipping boy. Well, what's your problem?
Oh, the old one, Geoffrey.
Geoffrey? Has he been on a bat again?
Oh, that I can cope with. Let's face it, I've managed for 12 years.
Well, then what is it?
It's the helpless, pathetic performances that's the real problem. Do you know that he rings me up at least twice a day? He drops in unannounced, uses Layford as if it were his own house.
Yeah, well, I suppose in a
He
way...
made it over to me. It's mine.
Yes, yes, of course. But I thought you got him back on his feet. Last I heard, he was back at work and had got over Penelope Finch.
Yes. He hasn't got over me.
Vicky, darling, hello.
Hello.
What's the matter?
Nothing.
I didn't see you for 2 weeks, and when I arrived, you hardly acknowledged me, and nothing's the matter.
Why did you have to come down? You know how cross Daddy is about the demonstration. You know there'll only be rows.
I didn't want to have rows. I've had quite enough trouble in the last few days. Oh, by the way, how's Nanny?
Oh, she's still in the nursing home. Oh, your friend's here. Had a puncture on the way down. She's covered in grease. She's been in the bathroom for ages. Why didn't you come down together?
She had to go to a meeting in Birmingham, and I had to go to court.
What happened? Was it terrifying?
No, not really. I was fined £5. The stipendiary wouldn't listen to a word I had to say, just accepted the police evidence.
Oh, there you are. You see, you're blaming the police, and that'll only make Father furious again.
I can't help that. I know what happened.
You don't know what's been happening here. People have been telephoning to say they're not coming to Peter and Laura's wedding. They've read about you in the papers.
God. Vicky, do you think I'm lying?
What about?
About the way the police behaved.
I don't know. But if you hadn't gone on the demonstration, you'd have spared everyone a lot of unhappiness. Mr. Cranford thinks you're a communist.
George Cranford probably thinks Major Attlee is a communist. I had to go on that demonstration.
Why?
Because I believed it was the right thing to do.
Her father thinks you got in with the wrong sort of crowd. And anyway, you say the police were violent. Claus says he can't imagine how they keep their tempers.
What does he know about it?
He was beaten up on Saturday night at a Moseley meeting.
What? Why? I mean, how?
Some fighting broke out. 4 left-wing thugs had a policeman trapped in an alley and were kicking and punching him, and Claus went to help him.
Well, quite the hero.
Don't say it like that. It was very brave.
Perhaps. But one has to ask oneself why he was at a Moseley meeting at all, when he professes to be an anti-Nazi.
There you are. You see, you've started again.
Oh, I'm sorry. I shan't say another word. I shall drift around, smiling and singing and being frightfully nice to everybody.
Don't worry. You'll have plenty of chance to talk. Especially now she's here.
She?
Arthur, if I don't do the interview, they'll only send someone else.
But why? Why can't they just leave it all alone? All this meddling and prying.
Because it's news. It's a public interest and concern.
Public interest? An interview with Liz, a little girl who...
A young woman. Look, she's a qualified doctor and the daughter of an MP. The public have a right to hear her opinion, if she's prepared to give it.
What sort of approach do you have in mind?
Why she felt compelled to demonstrate. And the police issue, of course.
Oh, I thought as much. It's always the same. Why is it that when the left take violence onto the streets, the police are cast in the role of the aggressors? Well, of course, I can't stop you.
No.
But you do realize the more publicity this matter receives, the more difficult it's going to make things for me.
Look, I can't prevent the publicity, but I might, how can I put it, soften the impact.
What's happened to the integrity of the press now?
Some journalists might sensationalize the police issue. I won't.
I mean, you'll play it down?
I'm not saying any more till I've spoken to Liz.
Can I suggest what do you people call it? An angle. Yes, it might force you to be impartial. Yes, you're going to like this, Angela.
Arthur, why do people always think they can do other people's jobs? You know, you're just like my dentist. Got the most wonderful idea for an article. Perhaps we could collaborate. Certainly, I said. On one condition. You let me come down here occasionally and drill a few teeth.
Are you all right, darling? Did you have a nice rest?
Thank you, yes. Good afternoon.
Hello, Claus. Do come and sit down. Do you feel up to some tea?
Up to?
She means, do you want cake?
No, thank you, not now.
Perhaps Liz could look at your wound later.
There's a wound under that.
It's a very nasty gash. Claus had to go to hospital. And he's covered with bruises all over.
How do you know?
He told me.
Oh, dear.
You've heard how they punched and kicked with steel toes to their boots?
Vicky did mention something. I'm sorry.
In Germany, they like very much to have scars on the face.
Oh, really?
Yes, because scars here on the cheek are signs that we have upholded our honor.
Upheld.
Yes, upheld. In Germany, at the universities, we fight many duels. I've never fought a duel and have therefore no scars on the face. But now, perhaps I shall have one scar, and people will think I've upheld my honor.
Oh, Claus, you're so funny.
Yes.
And Oswald Moseley, was he funny?
Liz.
So Oswald is a very interesting man. I like very much his slogan, Britain first. Patriotism is healthy. Yes, and I like also his view of the corporate state and his efforts to unite the classes. All very much the same as Mussolini has done in Italy.
So you like Moseley and you like Mussolini. And do you like
Cake.
Wait.
Do you like seed cake, Claus?
Yes. Yes, thank you, Vicky. Yes, I like seed cake. Yes, I like English seed cake and the English police. Vicky has told you. The police are very restrained. Moseley was merely addressing the crowd when the communists attacked. In Germany, this is not allowed.
Are there many communists left in Germany?
Hello, Sarah.
I'm sorry.
Or social democrats, or trade unionists, or Jews, or gypsies, for that matter?
Sarah, you've met Vicky, of course. This is Klaus von Heinig, a friend of hers. Dr. Sarah Martin.
How do you do?
I'm sorry, I seem to have interrupted something. Shall I go and walk round the garden?
No.
You know something about Germany, I gather.
Oh, yes. Yes, quite a lot. Do you?
I'm a German.
In that case, you'll know that all opposition parties have been dissolved and their leaders imprisoned, that trade union premises have been occupied and their funds confiscated, that thousands of people have been thrown into concentration
Not
camps.
thousands, but a few. It is no secret. Enemies of the state, like your Captain Bailey Stewart in the Tower of London. But I've also heard that the Fuhrer often visits the camps.
Presumably to meet the people who elected him.
as your Prime Minister visits a tower to meet the traitors.
Bailey Stewart is a convicted spy, not merely a political opponent.
Klaus, shall we go for a walk?
Oh, I'm sorry. I realize in certain circles it's considered impolite to discuss politics, and I've obviously interrupted a family discussion. I'll go upstairs.
Please, may I have the right to reply?
Klaus, what's the point?
As you're in England at the moment, yes, of course.
Please do not think me rude, but you seem to be living as a past. 20 years ago, we were at war, and you hated the German people. Why do you still hate them now?
Not the German people, the Nazi party.
But 90% of the people voted for the party and for the Führer.
In a free election?
Certainly. And since he has come to power, the Führer has done much that is good.
You mean all those roads?
I mean the work for the unemployed, I mean a stable currency, I mean restoring morale. And especially, I mean his aim to unite the German peoples of Europe into one Reich. But if you will allow, I must make my own position
Klaus,
clear.
please.
It's important, Vicky. You must know that my parents were in a camp for a time and are still under police surveillance. In fact, my family has an honorable record of resistance to the Führer's excesses.
Excesses?
I do not approve of many things which are done in Germany now. I've said so here often.
But you still approve of Oswald Mosley?
Of his view of patriotism.
His view of patriotism leads to fascism, and fascism leads to war. And if you feel strongly about the excesses, might I ask what you're doing about them?
I'm no longer active as a Nazi.
I asked how you're opposing Hitler's abuse of power. What are you doing in England, anyway?
I have a job here. I work as a Reichsbank in London.
The Reichsbank, that bastion of Nazi finance capital.
I don't understand. What's wrong with working in a bank?
Oh, in Germany, it's fine when good Aryans own banks. But the 20% of banks owned by Jews have been taken over on the pretext that they are bastions of Jewish finance capital.
The Jewish problem is difficult.
There was no problem until Dr. Goebbels began to propagate it.
This is not quite true. The Jew understandably has loyalty to his brothers in other countries, but their financiers undermine the German economy.
Hitler's stormtroopers are beating up Jews and throwing them into concentration camps. Did you know that?
Yes.
Do you approve?
No.
Then do something about it.
You are, I think, a very fierce lady.
And you are a healthy young man, and serious things are happening in your country. Get off the fence, go home, and help to build a great resistance movement. Risk your life, if necessary, to put a stop to your Führer's excesses. Oh, God. Liz, I am sorry, but you see...
I know.
Do not apologize. You speak with passion and concern. It seems to me that this is unusual in an English woman. I admire this. But when I listen to you, I wonder if you're not of the left, perhaps even a communist.
No, not a communist. And in a sense, not an Englishwoman.
I would never have guessed, Dr. Martin,
Granny, you've met Sarah then?
when she arrived. But I'm still a little puzzled as to how to address you. Now, a physician is a doctor. A surgeon is Mr. But what is a surgeon who is also a woman?
It's a nice point, Lady Bourne. A surgeon nowadays is addressed as Mr., but this is a corruption of the original master, Doctor of Medicine, Master of Surgery.
Well, in that case, it sounds as if you ought to be addressed as Mistress Martin.
I hardly think so in the 20th century.
No, it's liable to put you in the category of Mistress Page and Mistress Quickly.
In that case, I'll be happy with Doctor or Miss.
Well, I think doctor would be the most suitable. After all, Liz is a doctor, and you are her, what shall I say, boss? Is that right?
Well, not quite. Liz is a house surgeon.
Yes, the lowest form of animal life.
Too true, I'm afraid, and I'm the next lowest, a registrar. But we still serve our master, the consultant, in this case, a Mr. Beardmore.
Commonly known in the hospital as Butcher Beardmore.
Oh,
This is a joke, I suppose.
oh, for heaven's sake, Claus. Of course it's a joke. At least I hope it is. I do remember reading those terrible stories of operations that went wrong in that novel by A.J. Cronin. Oh, but you've come here for a rest, not to listen to laymen discussing your profession in total ignorance.
We were discussing another matter altogether, Lady Bourne.
Would you call it discussing? And was it very polite, Claus? No matter what's happening elsewhere, this has always been a peaceful and harmonious household.
I'm sorry it was my fault. I got carried away.
Oh, please think no more of it. I was so sorry to hear you'd had trouble with your motor.
Oh, only a puncture, but it took me ages to change wheels. You'd think for a surgeon it would be child's play, but I'm hopeless. I always get the nuts cross-threaded and myself covered with grease.
Oh, perhaps your profession has nothing to do with it, but perhaps your sex has.
But Granny, why should it?
Well, I don't know why it should, but it has. And you know what I would have done in your place?
No.
I would have sat on the running board looking pathetic until some man came along and rescued me. And I wouldn't have had long, I assure you. There's nothing men enjoy more than playing knight errant.
Oh, hello, Liz. Oh, Claus. Feeling better?
My wound is still painful.
Oh, no, I'll keep a stiff upper lip.
It's not my lip which was hurt.
Daddy, this is Dr. Sarah Martin.
Oh, how do you do, Dr. Martin? I understand you were on this demonstration with Liz.
Yes?
Arthur, dear, must we go into all that again? We were having such an interesting talk about nuts and grease and knight-errants. Or should it be knights-errant?
I'm sorry, Mother, but this is very important. Now, all of you, except for Dr. Martin, know Angela. Angela Scott, from Modern Life.
Hello.
Now, Angela's down here mixing business with pleasure. And the pleasure needs no elaboration. The delights of Larkfield and all who sail in her.
Here, here.
But the business side does need some elaboration. Now, on Saturday afternoon, Liz, she claims, was brutally assaulted by the police. By the way, how much did they fine you?
£5.
Well, don't ask me for it. And on Saturday evening, Claus went to the aid of a policeman who was being attacked by a left-wing mob.
He claims.
Angela's assignment is to get the, what do they call it in films, the lowdown on Saturday's Whitehall demonstration. But in the interests of impartiality, I have suggested that after dinner, there should be a two-handed interview. An idea which has been most graciously accepted.
Father, what's the point?
The point, my dear Vicky, is to try and convey to the great British public that extremism leads to violence and the breakdown of law and order, whether it's from the left or the right.
It was a peaceful and orderly demonstration until the police...
My wound, yes, it is a living example of Bolshevik brutality.
Now, Klaus, my dear boy, later.
I was there too, don't forget. I'll back Liz's version.
They booted me with their steel boots.
I know, darling. You were very brave.
Now, look, can we please...
It's 2 against 1. This is not just.
The question to be asked is why the police always behave as though threats to law and order come only from the left and go out of their way to protect thugs like Mosley.
Perhaps neither of us should participate in the debate. We're not British.
What?
It's a British issue. Let only the British speak.
I didn't say I wasn't British.
I misunderstood.
Yes, I said I wasn't English, in a sense, meaning that I don't think of myself in that way. I belong to the people who are being systematically beaten up in your country. I'm Jewish, Herr von Heinig.
I've sat through some pretty edgy dinner parties in my time. Tonight, well, that takes the biscuit.
Well, it's so kind of you to ask Miss Scott and myself to dinner together.
Oh, now, Rosie. When I asked you, I had no idea Angela was coming. She just turned up out of the blue.
Sorry, couldn't resist.
Yes. Well, actually, I was referring to Klaus and Lizzie's friend. Positively glaring at one another. Mother did her best, of course. Bless her. But Angela was soaking it up. I could almost hear her forming pithy sentences in her mind for that wretched article.
Well, you know what journalists are like. Opportunists.
Yes.
I rather like her.
Angela?
Dr. Martin. She doesn't mind speaking her mind.
Well, nothing against that.
Mm-hmm. Haven't you?
No. But I suspect that woman's filling Lizzie's head with all kinds of nonsense. She's, defiant.
Meaning she speaks her mind.
Oh, she's perfectly at liberty to complain about Hitler's treatment of the Jews. Don't we all? She's no right to come down here and hold forth about it. Did you notice what she was wearing tonight?
I noticed she hadn't changed.
Yeah, well, it was a sudden invitation from Liz. But she hadn't even put a comb through her hair.
Times are changing.
Oh, more's the pity. There's something about that woman that seems to put people on their guard. I sense an antagonism towards Claus, of course, which is perfectly understandable, but also towards us.
Us?
Yes, the family.
She reads the New Statesman, you read the Spectator. You are a landowner and she is a worker with the hand and brain.
No. It's more than that. It's almost a... No, I don't know.
Well, come on, analyse it. Or draw upon your, what was it that the Times leader called it, your unerring political intuition?
It's as if she blames us for what's happening to the Jews in Germany almost as much as she blames the Nazis.
Where was the meeting held?
In the East End. Is it Bethnal Green?
Yes. And were many police present?
Yes, I saw many police.
As many say as were in the crowd?
I think not.
What was the ratio?
Perhaps 1 police for 5 of the crowd.
And how did the violence start?
So Oswald was speaking, and a few people in the crowd started to shout. Then somebody threw a bottle, and it hit a steward, and his head was bleeding. Then the police took the man who threw the bottle, and then the fighting began.
So you blame the outbreak of violence on the anti-Mosleyite who threw the bottle?
This is how it began. If no bottle had been thrown and nobody shouted, there would have been no violence.
But in Whitehall there was no violence from the crowd?
None.
Nothing the crowd did could justify what you have described as an abnormally violent response from the police?
It was a peaceful and orderly protest march to Whitehall.
Starting on the embankment?
Contingents from the boroughs, trade unions, political parties and so on rallied on the embankment. 100,000 of us at least.
The police estimate was 50,000.
Playing it down, of course.
And you were there with what contingent?
The Birmingham Doctors Left Book Club group. But what does that matter? The point is that when we got to Whitehall, the crowd was tightly packed. And the police simply rode into us, striking about with their batons.
Crowd dispersal, to use their euphemism.
Look, I'm trying to be impartial, but I was caught up in the demonstration and I saw people trying to bring the police horses down.
But if you'd seen what the police were doing, that wouldn't have surprised you. You don't stand around doing nothing when somebody's trying to crack your skull open.
Excuse me, please, but I believe the crowd were going not only to Whitehall, but to Downing Street.
It's more or less the same thing.
But not quite. Is it possible for the state to allow 100,000 people into Downing Street, or even 50,000? Mr. Chamberlain cannot meet 50,000 people. And there's always a danger that the crowd will burst in upon number 10 and damage the property in his cabinets. One cannot allow 50,000 people into this small house. I do not understand why the leader of the British government lives in so small a house. In Germany, the Führer lives in the Reichschancellor. And why number 10? Why not number 1?
Claus is right. Of course the crowd had to be stopped before it reached Downing Street.
Look, I'm not sure that you should be here at all, but since you are, you mustn't mind if you're quoted.
No, that's not fair. You're a guest, you're a friend of Daddy's.
This is grotesque.
I'm sorry, Dr. Martin.
For God's sake, get to the heart of the matter. Herr von Heinig goes to a Mosley meeting and he's actually surprised when someone throws a bottle.
Excuse me, but have you not in England the tradition of free speech?
Yes, do something, stop them.
Yes, a much vaunted tradition. Always providing, of course, that the free speech has no chance of making any impact. The police will stand by at Speaker's corner and allow a crank to tear the monarchy to shreds because they know his words are having no real effect.
Your monarchy is a sacred institution, and yet it may be attacked.
Oh, you don't understand, do you? The police protect Mosley's freedom of speech. Do you know why?
Because of the principle.
No, Herr von Heinig. Because, like the crank at Speaker's corner, he's no threat. The extreme right isn't the threat, but a march on Downing Street, that is a threat.
From the left, yes?
Claus, do you know who lives in the East End of London? Bethnal Green, Stepney.
The ordinary working people.
Yes. And Jews. In fact, half the Jewish population in Britain. And do you know what Mosley's black shirts do? They parade the streets, shouting, Yids, Yids. We've got to get rid of the Yids.
The Jews among us are a cancer and every foul disease. We will extirpate them from our public life.
You're surprised when somebody throws a bottle.
Freedom of speech or freedom to insult with impunity.
Stop it, all of you. Claus, don't let them provoke you.
I think you attack me again.
Of course I'll attack you if you go to Mosley meetings.
What is the good of all these endless arguments?
I think I will go now.
No, I'll go. I've caused enough trouble.
Sarah, you have a right to say what you believe.
Even if it upsets your family.
Yes, of course.
Forgive me, but I've said it first. I will go.
Everybody going? How odd. At this time of night?
Granny, do something. Stop them arguing.
Arguing? Well, I did stop them once before dinner, but I don't think I can bear the burden of this holiday at Larkfield.
Sorry, Granny, of course you can't.
I'm sorry, Lady Bourne, it was my fault. I came down here to get material for an article.
And have you been successful?
Not very.
I expect you'll want neatness, a beginning, a middle, and an end. If only life were as neat and tidy as those nice stories by that clever American, Mr. O. Henry.
If only people wouldn't even argue about politics.
Then there wouldn't be any politics.
Tant mieux. Poor Claus. It must be very confusing for you. It's considered very bad form to discuss politics in an English home, whereas on the continent it's considered a sign of ignorance not to.
I have been accused of things I'm not. I'm not a Nazi. I'm not a Jew baiter.
Klaus, you've been accused of sitting on the fence.
Good evening.
My dear boy, you can't go now. It's raining cats and dogs. He's picked up another quaint custom of English family life. People forever rushing upstairs and the sound of bedroom doors slamming.
Daddy, you must do something.
Do what?
They've been having the most ghastly row out there.
What, again?
Yes, again. Klaus has gone upstairs. I think he's packing.
Well, just because of an argument?
Oh, you know how proud he is. Why should he stand by and let Liz and that awful woman insult him? If he goes now, he may never come back.
Oh, nonsense, Vicky. He'll cool down.
I don't think so.
When a man gets the worst of two women, he usually gets a bit huffy.
No. Sorry, Rosie, I think you're being just a little bit glib.
You mean he won't come back? You agree?
I mean, my darling, there are some things we haven't discussed for some time. And I suppose I mean that whether you like our manners or not, Dr. Martin has talked about things that you and Klaus have to face. Have always had to face.
Daddy, don't.
Ah, it's no good burying your head in the sand. You heard what she said about the Jews in Germany.
No, it's exaggerated. There's nothing about it in the papers.
The papers, God protect me from the papers. Look, assuming it were true, how would you feel?
It's got nothing to do with Klaus. Nothing. Nothing is going to destroy our future. Now, please, please stop him from going.
Klaus, my dear boy. What's all this? Vicky tells me you're leaving.
Yes. I'm sorry, Commander, but I think it's the best thing to be done.
Well, just because of a tiff? It'll blow over.
You believe this? No. You're trying to be of help and very polite. But you know this does not blow over. I'm sad and frightened for me and Vicky. But whatever happens in the future, I cannot stay in the house with this Dr. Martin. All the time, I'm aware of her deep hatred for me and the German people.
Oh, not you. Only some of the German people.
The situation between our countries does not improve. Until today, I've had no discussion with you about the Jews. We've talked of politics, yes, of German territorial claims, yes. I say I do not approve of many things that are done in the Reich. But I never said what things. And you did not ask. But Dr. Martin, she has asked. It has been said, and it must be faced. I have much thinking to do, and perhaps when I've thought, I will decide about a future for Vicky and me.
Yes, but you don't have to go. Stay here and talk about it. Stay here and think.
There's a hostile Jewess watching me.
Yes. That is rather unfortunate. Klaus, don't do anything hasty. Promise me you'll hang on for half an hour.
I was just saying what a change it makes, Arthur. Both the men upstairs having a nice gossip in the bedroom, and all the women downstairs drinking brandy.
You're very skittish tonight, Mother. Where's Angela?
She went off somewhere to talk to Dr. Martin, and Rosie, as she said, had had enough.
Can I have a word, Liz?
Yes.
In the study, I think. Won't be a minute. Oh, have some more brandy.
can have got into him? He's a very generous man, except when it comes to brandy. Just like his father, he always kept his in a tantalus.
How long have you known Dr. Martin?
A few months.
She's a woman of considerable intelligence and integrity, and I'm sure a very good friend of yours.
But
Well, I'm sorry, Liz, but she can't stay here. Tomorrow she
because
must...
of our politics.
No, it's not that. We've entertained people of all manner of political views here at Larkfield over the years. You know that. I do remember when we had Willie Gallagher to lunch and how we all laughed. And Gallagher's the only communist MP in the House.
Yes, I remember. But he is a member of your Westminster Club. He's stuck to the unspoken code of conduct. Never raise your voice, and never say anything as if you really believed it.
Liz, you have your loyalty to your friend. I understand that. But you also have a loyalty to the family. Now, if Dr. Martin stays, Claus will go. The boy's in a state. And if he goes, I think he might well break off his engagement to Vicky.
If you can't stomach the truth, it's just as well for Vicky.
Well, that's for them to decide. Heaven knows what's going to happen in the next few months. Maybe a break is inevitable. But if it comes, I don't want Vicky to think it was her own sister who caused it. That Dr. Martin drove a wedge between Claus and herself.
Oh, Father, there are family loyalties. But aren't there others which are more important? I've never heard you discuss what's happening to the German Jews. An internal problem. Well, is it not our concern? I've not heard one prominent member of your party speak out on the subject.
We have in this country, at this moment, 50,000 refugees from Germany.
The ones with the money, the famous, the Freuds, the doctors, artists, scientists. But how many have been turned away? Now you're asking me to send Sarah away. Oh, do we really care? Think about it, Father.
If Claus breaks with Vicky, on your head be it. Now you think about that.
All right. Sarah.
It's all right, Liz, darling, really. It's for the best.
Sarah, please. I don't want you to go.
I know. But I've caused too much trouble. Why stay and cause more? It would be arrogant to think I'm going to make any converts.
Yes, but we've driven you away.
Not you, Liz. Not you, Liz.
It's the family.
I know. I'm driving myself away in my little bull-nosed Morris. And if I get another puncture, I'll be done for, because I didn't get the first one mended. And, I'll see you at the hospital on Thursday, Do explain to the family and tell them I apologized for my bad manners.
Apologize. Don't worry, she's gone.
I'm sorry, Liz. It can't have been easy.
She made it very easy. Oh, it was too easy.
Angela.
I've just passed Klaus's room. He and Vicky are having a little cuddle. Isn't that nice? Has Dr. Martin gone?
Yes.
Yes. I've had quite a chat with her. I'm sorry, Arthur.
Sorry, why?
Because she's a very articulate young woman with quite an amazing memory. And there's no doubt in my mind that the police behaved appallingly in Saturday's demonstration.
Nonsense! The whole point of our interview was to give a balanced judgment. Extreme left, extreme right, they're both to blame. You and I and the police are in the middle, trying to preserve our civilization.
Arthur, I'm sorry, that's too glib. My piece won't come out like that.
Why not?
Because I don't believe it to be true. Because I have to write what I've seen and heard.
What you've heard? From that woman? Hearsay? A biased witness?
Oh, Arthur, please, aren't you biased?
Certainly not. Well, aren't you?
I hope not.
You are biased. By your own prejudices and by the demands of your profession. The search for the sensational.
Arthur, you're wrong. Look, we may all have our prejudices, but we all have our loyalties too. And in this instance, mine happens to be to my profession, to honest journalism. I'm afraid I shall have to publish. And perhaps be damned.